Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about game ones in both the West and East semifinals that happened last night between the New York Knicks, Boston Celtics, and the Denver Nuggets and OKC Thunder. The first game I'm going to get into is the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics. Now, this game was a game of runs just like every other game. But there was one thing that really caught my eye. See, the Celtics, and I do mean this, the Celtics, they were up by they were up by 20 at one point in this game. Now, before I get into all of the lineups and stuff, the Celtics, I'm gonna save that for later. So here is the starters for the New York Knicks. Mikal Bridges, 8 points. OG Anunoby, 29 points. Karl Anthony Towns, 14 points. Jalen Brunson, 29 points. Josh Hart, 14 points. Bench production, Precious Achua, 0 points. Mitchell Robinson, 3 points. Cameron Payne, 0 points. Miles McBride, 11 points. Boston Celtics starters. Jason Tatum, 23 points. Kristaps Porzingis, 0 points. Drew Holiday, 16 points. Derek White, 19 points. Jaylen Brown, 23 points. Bench production, Sam Hauser, 0 points. Al Horford, 7 points. Luke Cornett, 4 points. Peyton Pritchard, 13 points. Now, I don't know if anybody watched this game in its entirety, but halfway through the third quarter, the Boston Celtics were up by 20 points. 20 points, and then the New York Knicks went on a 35 to 17 run because one thing that I noticed that the Celtics, they were getting 3 point happy and they were just settling for threes. Now they were not efficient at all from the 3 point line last night. The Celtics were 15 of 16. Now, one thing I can say is that the New York Knicks, this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to at least get one game. They wanted to at least get one game on the Celtics home floor, and they've done that. But I still think that the Celtics will win this series in 5 games. I don't care how good the New York Knicks played last night. The Celtics are still winning this series. I saw a lot of people last night in a TikTok stream I was watching saying that the Knicks in 6, the Knicks in 7. I said no. I'm like the Celtics. They gonna win it in 5 games because bench production. The New York Knicks bench production. If the New York Knicks starters don't have a good game, then the New York Knicks are done. Now, one thing I can say about the Boston Celtics, Kristaps Porzingis, 19 minutes, 0 points. That is not good. I expect Boston to have a bounce back game in game two, which is tomorrow night. Now, like I said, the Celtics were up by 20, got 3 point happy, and then all of a sudden a 20-point lead became a 2 point lead in the matter of 3 minutes. And then largest lead for the New York Knicks was 6. Now, Jalen Brunson is the bell cow for the New York Knicks. Do I think that the New York Knicks have 3 more games in them like they had last night? No, I don't think so. Because I'm gonna go back to the statistics for the scores. One thing I can say is I don't see I don't see OG Anunoby having another efficient night from three. He was 6 of 11 from three. Also, one thing about it is Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is the bell cow. He can have an efficient night. He was 5 of 9 from the 3-point line. Also, one other thing, Miles McBride. He was 3 of 6 last night. He had some big time shots that he made last night. I don't expect the New York Knicks to be efficient when it comes to their 4-man bench rotation. I don't. You can see Mitchell Robinson, he only had 3 points, which was nothing. And then you see where the Boston Celtics, Kristaps Porzingis is gonna have a better game. Drew Holiday is gonna have a better game. Sam Hauser coming off the bench is gonna have a good game. Al Horford, he is gonna have a better game in game two. Luke Cornett, Peyton Pritchard, 13 points in 24 minutes. That's the best. That's the best that he did last night. Now, I expect the Boston Celtics to throw in some more wrinkles. I expect Xavier Tillman, Xavier Tillman to have a chance to play in this series. Xavier Tillman, he might have he might have some playing time in this series because basically the New York Knicks outside of I'm going to say their bench production outside of Cameron Payne, Mitchell Robinson, and Miles McBride, they not going to get they are not going to get efficient scoring at all. They aren't. So New York Knicks is up game one. Game two is tomorrow night on TNT, True TV, and slash True TV Max. So we will see if the Boston Celtics can bounce back from their game one loss in a game where they shouldn't have lost, being up by 20 late in the third quarter. Now, the next game I am going to cover, and this video is not going to be long, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in depth with what we saw last night from the Nuggets and the Thunder. Now, this game was on everybody's radar. I think if the Nuggets win this series, they'll be playing the team that knocked them out last year in the Western Conference Finals, the Minnesota Timberwolves. But before I get to the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Denver Nuggets last night had another efficient night from Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. He didn't really have a game. Aaron Gordon, he had an efficient night. He had 22 points. Michael Porter Jr. had 2 points. Nikola Jokic had his usual triple double, 42, 17, and 22. Jamal Murray, 21 points. Christian Braun, 11 points. Peyton Watson, Nuggets bench production. Peyton Watson, 3 points. Russell Westbrook, 18 points. Julian Swather, 2 points. Now, for the OKC Thunder, Chet Holmgren, 12 points. Jalen Williams, 16 points. Isaiah Hartenstein, 12 points. Shea Gillis Alexander, 33 points. Lugez Dort, 14 points. Bench production, Jalen Williams, 4 points. Alex Caruso, 20 points. Isaiah Joe, 0 points. Aaron Wiggins, 5 points. And Wallace, 3 points. Now, one thing I want to say about the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets bench production they're only doing a 3-man bench rotation right now. But here is some adversity, like I've been saying throughout the entirety of the season. Here is some adversity when it comes to the OKC Thunder. All throughout the regular season and basically last season and this season, throughout the regular season, they didn't have any type of adversity. Now, last year they lost to the Dallas Mavericks. They had a little bit of adversity against the Dallas Mavericks. Now they are in a little bit of adversity against the Denver Nuggets. Game two is to Game two is tomorrow night. You have the Denver Nuggets coming off of a 7 game series, and pretty much pretty much the Denver Nuggets, they didn't have much in the tailpipe last night because 48 hours prior to playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, they were playing a game 7 against the Los Angeles Clippers and won. So now, let's see what the Oklahoma City Thunder can do. I mean, last night they were not efficient. OKC Thunder wasn't efficient, and as you can see, most of these stats go in favor of the Denver Nuggets. Shooting percentage from the floor, 44% for Denver for the Nuggets, 42% for the Thunder. 3-point shooting, 31% for Denver, 34% for OKC. Free throws, 27 of 33, 81% for the Denver Nuggets. 34%, 20 of 28, 71% for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Rebounds. This is where the Denver Nuggets won this game at. Denver Nuggets had 63 rebounds last night, and they out-rebounded the OKC Thunder by 20. Offensive rebounds, +8 for the Denver Nuggets. Defensive rebounds, +12 for the Denver Nuggets. Assists, +9 for the OKC Thunder. Steals, +6 for the OKC Thunder. Blocks, +6 for the OKC Thunder. Total turnovers, +9 for the Denver Nuggets. They got lucky last night. They got lucky. And if it wasn't for Aaron Gordon making that game-winning shot, obviously we would be talking about something else. Then here is the points off of turnovers. Denver had 23 points. OKC only had 5. Fast break points, it was pretty much even. 27-24. Points in the paint, 54 for the Denver Nuggets, 46 for the OKC Thunder. Fouls, 27 for the Thunder, 21 for the Denver Nuggets. Largest lead was 14 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Denver Nuggets' largest lead was 8. Now, this is already an entertaining series after just one game. Now, the Denver Nuggets, their season, they've been through a roller coaster. Having Mike Malone fired a month and a half ago, and having, players not be confident in Michael Malone's style of play. Now you see you have this young, up and coming OKC Thunder team. Oklahoma City Thunder team that really haven't had any type of adversity, and this is adversity that is hitting them in the face. You can't go down for the OKC Thunder. You cannot go down 2-0 and go on the road and play game 3 and game 4 in Denver. You can't. You're not going to be able to do that. So teams, and I'm going to say this, teams that go up 2-0 in a playoff series in NBA history goes on to win the series 84% of the time. So if Denver wins game 2, more than likely they are in the driver's seat. Denver, they have game 3 and 4 on their home floor. So we could be on the verge of a sweep. OKC Thunder, game 2 is the only game that y'all need to think about. Only game that y'all need to think about. And please, please, when it comes to having leads, can somebody please protect the lead? Because we had Boston do the exact same thing last night. Then we have OKC doing the exact same thing. Then we have the Cavaliers. Now, the Cavaliers, they play game 2 tonight. And they are in the same kind of a bind that Boston is in and OKC is in. The Cavaliers, they cannot lose game 2 tonight. If they lose game 2 tonight, then this series is on the verge of being a sweep because Indiana, they haven't lost a home playoff game since the playoffs started. So you have those odds going against you, and then you have Indiana basically coming into Cleveland and showing the Cavaliers how things are going to be run throughout this series. So we have a lot of games to look at throughout the entirety of the next couple of weeks before the conference final round gets started. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the Cavaliers bounce back, the Boston Celtics bounce back, and especially the Oklahoma City Thunder, how they bounce back from having a series deficit and losing in the fashion that all three of the teams that I've mentioned lost in over the weekend and specifically last night for the Boston Celtics and the Thunder. And with that, those are my reactions to last night's Game 1 semifinals between the Denver Nuggets, OKC Thunder, and the Eastern semifinals, New York Knicks versus the Boston Celtics. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Excuse me. We are also doing an expansion right here on YouTube. So please like, share, subscribe, Key Time Sports on YouTube. Also, go like, comment, share, subscribe to Key City Sports on Instagram. We have a lot of content to cover over the next couple of months. We have NBA playoff coverage, we have NBA finals coverage, then we have NFL minicamp and OTAs coverage. So you do not want to miss any of the content that I have in store for all of you, my willing audience. Thank you to everybody that has watched my show every day. And thank you to everybody who has watched Key City Sports every day for almost on the 15th. Key City Sports will officially be a year old. So we are going to do something big for the first year of Key City Sports. We are going to. So, one last thing I want to tell everybody. Remember, the key is always on time.